Next, we are excited to kick off our inaugural Open Mic Night. We are honored to have Mr. AKMAL HAKIM bin HAFIZAL joining us tonight. Mr. AKMAL will be presenting on the intriguing topic of spine LARKIN LRT terminal. Let's give a warm round of applause to Mr. AKMAL as he takes the stage. Please welcome to the stage.
Hi and good evening, everyone. So first and foremost, I would like to thank you to Pertubuhan Arkitek Malaysia for giving me this opportunity. And also, I would like to thank you everyone for coming for today's session. So before I start my presentation, I would like to showcase a short video. Okay, moving on. Before I explain about the design itself, I would like to explain about the project. So the given assigned project was to design an LRT station terminal located in LARKIN, and it aligns with the OD plans of Johor Bahru. And the next is the client will be the JCOP or Johor Corporation. And lastly, the users will consist of people living in LARKIN area that will be working in Johor Bahru city center and also Singapore. Or even the people who from other districts, they will come to LARKIN area to have access to the stadium LARKIN or LARKIN Arena. And before I start to design, I identified a few common issues for LRT terminal or LRT station itself. So firstly is poor connectivity towards the station. So usually people who wanted to commute via LRT, they will prefer to walk there to the LRT station, but sometimes they will have a poor connectivity towards the station itself. So the next one is overcrowding during peak hours. So this is quite common. And lastly, inefficient passenger circulation due to people who arrive and also people who depart from the LRT station face each other in the same circulation. So this causes some inefficiency. And next is design objectives. So the first one is to ensure connectivity just now. I mentioned so that the people who wanted to access the LRT station, they can have access by walking. And next is to create modular and openness of the design to create a sense of spaciousness in the building and also to have them for a waiting area for them outside and also the inside of the building. And lastly is to separate the circulation by separating the departure users and also the arrival users circulation so that they have their dedicated circulation. And this is the site study. So first thing first, before what I have identified is that it is a must to provide an access to the inside the bus stop. So for our project, we are required to place a bus stop inside the site. So to provide access from the badminton hall and also basketball stadium towards the bus stop inside the site is convenient for the users, since the nearest bus stop is actually around Jalan Datuk Jaafar. So if they walk, so they have to walk quite far away. Instead, they can just walk into this LRT station area. So next is to create effective nodes. Since the site area is quite near to the stadium LARKIN and also Arena LARKIN, so sometimes there will be an event held in the future. So having effective nodes that can become a holding area for them is convenient for the users. And next is access from Kampung Majidi. The site itself is actually very near to the Kampung Melayu Majidi residents, only be separated by the KTM railway that is shown in the map. So to design the building that can connect the residency towards the building itself is to ensure the connection. And lastly is the pedestrian access for future development. Although currently there is no development at the south side of the site, but to have a pedestrian access for the future development can ensure the connection between the site and also the context. So I come up with a concept which is called Tulang Belakang LARKIN. This derives from what I think that is very important for the LRT station to be built, since it can not only provide opportunities for the residents of LARKIN, but also create future of the LARKIN city itself. So to be a catalyst for the economic growth of LARKIN. So how do I implement the concept is by deriving some concept design strategies. The first one is to create a structure that represents the spine strength and also to represent the spine itself in terms of aesthetic. And next, to design it, articulate modularity, since the spine itself have that characteristic of modular. And next is direct circulation, mimicking the nerve function. And also lastly, to design the building itself as a future landmark so that everyone can know about this LRT station. And next is the architectural language, which consists of repetition, rhythm, and also hierarchy. So from the studies above, just now, so I have to develop into the final form. So firstly is the zoning, identify the zoning of the spaces in the site itself. And next is to implement the design strategy mentioned earlier. And next is internal and external sensory factors that is influenced by the climate factors, the wind factors, and also how the users experience inside the building towards the views outside of the building. And next is initial form design. So the initial form design is inspired that I wanted to have a sense of movement inside the building for the users to have a sense of direction. And lastly is the concept integration form, is where the concept design strategy just now came in, so that to have some modularity in terms of the massing. So this is some of my brainstorming sketches, because just now it's just a massing. So this sketch consists of how I want the building to become, how the structure I want it to form. And the next sketch is the initial design of the LRT station itself. So this is where I adopt the idea to use cable stay structure to hold the roof, to create some long span structure at the platform area. So, but the design just now is not finalized yet. So this is how I come up with the finalized design. So it is inspired by the vertebrae of the tiger. So where the tiger come from is because of two main reasons. The first one is southern tiger from Johor, and also the second one is since tiger characteristic is that they have their own territory in the forest. So same goes to LRT station, which all of LRT stations are located in their own district. So then come up with the initial form design from the combined load distribution. And then I implemented a curvy kind of design so that the load can distribute evenly better. And with that single structure design, I combine with all of them so that just the below that is the structure from implementation. And so I mentioned earlier about segregating both circulation between the departure and arrival users. So the departure users can access the building from the first floor if they go there by car. So the first floor is a little bit nearer towards the platform area, which is located at the third floor. So the departure users can access the platform area by the right wing of the building. And on the other hand, the arrival users can leave the building by accessing the left wing of the building. So they have their own dedicated circulation. And this is a render of the departure entrance. And this is the entrance towards the concourse area and also the platform area. So on the right side, there's actually an escalator. So that is the Kampung Melayu Majidi access. So this is where the residents of Kampung Melayu Majidi can actually access the terminal or the LRT station, and also they can also access through the building towards the stadium LARKIN just now, and also the LARKIN Arena. So it not only acts as a LRT station, but also as a circulation going through. And then this is the lobby area, a render of the lobby where people with different purposes meet. So people who wanted to depart and also people who arrive can actually meet here. And the implementation of Void is to create a sense of spaciousness inside the lobby, and also to connect the relationship between people who are on the first floor and also the ground floor. And when I designed specifically a project in my degree years, is that I keen to embrace nature and architecture in design, so that the users can experience both, not only architecture, but also nature. Next is seamless connection between interior and exterior. So it can be seen that the whole of the building is full with curtain walls, so that people in the inside can actually look out the courtyard. And people from the outside at the courtyard can actually look inside the building. And another design strategy that I want to emphasize is on the F&B area is located at the ground floor, and it is at the open area, so that it doesn't require any mechanical ventilation for the smell from the F&Bs to can just diffuse in the open nature, instead of it affecting the indoor area that is air conditioned. So this is the isonometric of the building itself. So the roof design for architectural proportion and interior ambience. So the design of the roof is not only for mere aesthetic, since the LRT station itself is located so high above the ground. So, but the terminal itself is located at the ground. So trying to balance out the proportion using the roof design itself. And the second one is the interior ambience, is where the lobby is that the roof design is created a little bit higher, so that to create a spaciousness just now. And this is the plaza area, a render of the plaza area. So I mentioned earlier about creating effective nodes. So this is where the place that when people arrive, when they have to attend an event at the LARKIN Arena or Stadium LARKIN, but the event didn't even start yet, so they can actually make this as a holding area. And lastly, I want to conclude is that this project is very important for LARKIN, because it's not only to hold dreams of the residents of the LARKIN area, but also their opportunity to work at the Johor Bahru City Centre, and also a path to carry the future of the LARKIN city itself. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. AKMAL, for that wonderful presentation. We will also like to extend our gratitude to today's sponsors, Akzo Nobel Paints Malaysia's Indian Berhad, for the generous support of the event. We are pleased to invite Ms. Carol Lim, Head Professional Specifications, Akzo Nobel Paints Malaysia's Indian Berhad, to come forward to share about your products. Please join me on stage.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Carol. I'm from Akzo Nobel Paint. Yeah, it's a pleasure for me to be here today. Yeah, I would like to say thank you to Pam for giving me this opportunity to have a sessions here to share, to have a short sharing with you all later. Yeah. Okay. Today I will be showcase you one of our key exteriors innovations products, Deluxe Professionals Weather Shoes Express. I have few slides here. I'm going to walk through with you But before we start, let us take a quick look at this video.
High efficiency is critical for your business. With rapid development, projects are faced with new challenges. And to grow your business, you need quicker turnaround without compromising on quality. Introducing Dulux Professional Weather Shield Express 2-coat system. This innovative new product from AkzoNobel delivers the same high performance and superior all-weather protection you trust, but requires one less coat, saving time, increasing productivity by up to 30%, by stretching resources across multiple projects. Our unique high-bond latex technology combines the sealer and top coat functions in one product that optimizes efficiency and protects your wall from the elements. Even with one less coat, Weather Shield Express has superior performance over most conventional 3-coat systems in the market, and comes with the same product warranty as the 3-coat Weather Shield system. Talk to your Dulux Professional Services expert today and find out how we can help you deliver your best work in less time.
Okay, what is Weather Shield Express? This is a high bond latex 2-coat system. Yeah, it is also called a self-priming 2-in-1 system. Typically, traditionally, a typical exterior coating, we need 3-coat system, right? 1 coat of sealer followed by 2 coat of top coat. Yeah. So with Weather Shield Express, you no longer need sealer. Straight away, 2-coat finishings. Yeah, it will help you to save time, reduce your labor cost, and also increase your productivities up to 30%. Yep. Okay, so here, this is one of the trial result to compare the 2-coat system versus the conventional 3-coat system. So you can see that from left to right, it's actually the wall surfaces show you that the different stage of application. First coat, second coat, and then full coat system. In each image, right, you will see that 2-coat system is applied on the left side, and the 3-coat system applied on the right side. After the first coat, you can see that the Weather Shield Express have shown the better opacity compared with the 3-coat system, first coat. After the second, so by second coat, then you can see that the 2-coat systems is already completed its application, while the 3-coat system, you still require another layer. Yeah. So in the final image, then you will see that the both systems actually deliver a comparable opacity, coverage, and finish. Yeah. So despite using a lesser coat, Weather Shield Express actually help you to complete your job faster with a consistent result. Okay. So these are the key features that we have. We have keep cool heat reflective technology, color lock technology, peeling, alkaline resistance, peeling resistance, the pickup resistance, and protections against fungus and algae grow. Is low VOC, low odor, green certified, and this product comes with a 7 years warranty. All right. We understand that your color is more than just aesthetic. Yeah, it's about performance, sustainability, and reliability. So that's where Dulux Professionals come in as your trusted partner in paint. All right, thank you so much. If you would like to seek for more information, our booth is just outside the hall. Yeah, you can feel free to connect with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Caroline. Lastly, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker of the evening, Architect Phaithaya Banchakitikun. He will be presenting Designing Cities That Breathe and Belong. Architect Phaithaya Banchakitikun, or Architect Poi, is the founder of Managing Director of Atom Design, an architecture studio based in Bangkok since 2011. His work spans diverse project types, from luxury residences, branded developments to affordable housing, public spaces, and urban infrastructure. He is recognized for a human-centered, context-sensitive approach that blends design excellence with social environment responsibility. Notable works include Porsche Design Tower Bangkok and flagship collaborations with iconic German brand alongside the award-winning residential civics project across Southeast Asia. Beyond building, Architect Poi is deeply engaged in urban design city making, using architecture as a tool to improve livability, equity, and resilience in rapidly evolving urban contexts. His commitment to shaping better cities has earned him multiple international awards and recognition as a thought leadership in the region. He currently serves as Vice President of the Association of Siamese Architects, contributing to the advancements of design culture and professional practice in Thailand. Please welcome Architect Poi to the stage.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So exciting. Okay, maybe let's see. All right. I think your MC introduced me very well. And you know, the event is so difficult for me because I'm from outside country, right? And then I don't know who is the audience. And we are so different context, even we have some similarities. And especially this is the dinner time that we normally have the dinner with family, right? So please try to enjoy what we can have. Basically, I have about 27 years experience in design industry. And I used to be the partner of Architect49, which is the biggest architect company in Thailand. And I left the company, in the good way, okay? We still talk together, and I found my own company 2011, and then until now. Len told me that, okay, this event should be talking about the place making, so I just try to follow nicely. And let's see, okay, I think this basically some sort of the criteria that we have in general when we do the design for the building, right? Talking about the value, and most of my project is quite a commercial project, like the condominium, residential, office, hotels. So the value is so important, especially for the client, right? So, and it needs to be valuable for long term. Safety, resilience, we had just passed COVID-19. Health and wellness become one of the most important things that the people concern. Our generation, Thailand, it just become the aging society. Last couple of years, we have the population older than 60, about 25%. So, and we're getting older. And we get less child born every year, which is really important for my country right now. And we're also concerned about nature and green. Carbon neutrality is quite a new thing that we try to somehow adopt it. Sustainability is also our responsibility for doing the job. And apart from just make yourself survive, try to make our world survive as well. So before moving forward, about the placemaking, I think this book, somebody might have read it, is a book talking about the research done by MIT, that this research lasts about 20 years in doing the analysis and collecting the information. And it turned out that probably 90% of the people who may be some successful, some may not be successful, all concerned about the relationship of the people. One of the most important things. Nobody say about, okay, getting rich or getting poor, is that so important or significant? But relationship between the people is so important. And your life will be so happy and so successful if your family, your friend still be with you for your lifetime until you pass away. So how could we do the placemaking for the coming generation and make our world better to get the better health for the people and at the same time to get the better relationship for the humanities? So that part of the key that maybe we can consider together how to achieve it. How can we create a placemaking that nurture good health, well-being, and foster meaningful connection among people, leading to lifelong happiness? Okay, this may be one of the really important things that we may be looking forward to. And just give you the background about my company a little bit. Okay. This is my staff. We have about 40 persons right now. You can reduce the sound a little bit. And some of my project, this is the highlights building. One in the middle just launched. Some low-rise building, some house design, condominium, private house. Developing our city for Thailand is so difficult. It's similar to some other country with the challenge of the unique constraint, extremely lower budget, tight project timelines, maximizing the project profit, restrict construction qualities, very low design fee in Thailand. Undervalue the law of the architecture as well. We continue to do our best to make our city better, more sustainability, and also truly possible for everyone to live with. Thailand has become increasingly urbanized, so people moving into the cities. The number of residents living in the tall building getting more every year. And our past decade, we have significantly enhanced the built environment, try to make the project to be complete in terms of how to serve the lifestyle of people, which changing all the times. As some of my project, I will give you some more detail in the further slide. This is just to give you briefly about the overall of the project that we have done. Some premium, extremely high price condominium, some nice low-rise project development. We believe that green can make the city be happier. We have green area per capita less than WHO standard in Thailand and also in Bangkok. We have an average of 4.5 kilometers walking distance from any area to the green area, so which is so difficult. It takes about 1 hour to get to the park, so it's not that easy. So when we do the project, we try the best to maximize the green area in the project as much as possible, even more than what the EIA require. So that's what we try the best. We try to cover the roof. We even provide each 1 tree for each of the unit in the buildings. Try to enlarge maybe swimming pool. We have 2 or 3 swimming pool per one project. This is housing project that we have done. We also have the Singapore city in some sort of the low model of the Bangkok. We don't have any area for the pedestrian, so when we do the project, we try to maximize the green area nearby the road for the city to be more greenery. So that's how we try the best. We also sacrifice some part of the land, which is the private property for the public. Apart from the premium project that we did, we also serving the communities for the low-income communities. Some of the project that I will show you in detail as well. This is the unit that we have done. I'll give you more in details. So some project would be quite challenging, how to make the living in vertical be possible for some lower income people, which is so challenging in Thailand. So this may be the solution. I will give you more in details. So we also have the Central Park. We try to link them together. This one is the project that called the name of the Green Bridge. We renovating them. It used to be quite an inaccessible area for the people. We try to create them to be a landmark of the cities and linking to Central Park together and try to make it become a good facility for the cities. Some Bangkok area, we are talking about the Skywalk. Skywalk is start to be the solution for the Bangkok area because we have the SkyTrain station. So when we walk from one to another area, so some buildings, we need the coverage area that to be able to walk because the rain in Thailand and Bangkok is so strong. So we even create the cover walkway around the pedestrian walkway along the Bangkok pedestrian walkway that we have. And we also try to achieve the carbon neutrality, which is quite new for Thailand. Using the passive design solar roof, I may give you a little bit more in details for this project later. This is basically the housing project in Phuket, the southern part of Thailand, and considered to be quite a premium one as well. So we are not the policy maker. So in terms of the role of the architect, this is the thing that we can also do it. We do the private project design, but at the same time, we can make that project to be beneficial for the cities that we try the best for the past 15 years. So everything we do is just driven by a singular purpose, just to make our country a better place. So that the bigger picture of our company. So maybe just because I don't know how familiar you are with the Bangkok and also Thailand. So maybe a few first slide, I will give you a little bit of some history and is some of the case study in Bangkok. How can a place make places? Even sometimes that place had not been really made. Maybe very interesting, right? This is the project named Super Tower at that time. It's launched 15 years ago. Until now, it haven't been built. Okay, US tallest building already built and construct, right? Even launched after what we have launched. I did this project since I was in the A49. This is the 600 meters super tower. At that time, before your tower, it's considered to be the tallest, second tallest in the world as well. The same objective as what you have. So what about this project? Okay, this is basically Bangkok area. If somebody have visited Bangkok, you might know Siam Square. Siam Square considered to be like a big shopping mall, Central World Plaza and everything, right? It's just right there, Siam. So that Bangkok is so huge city. We have the population, not the official one, about 20 million per day, traffic and working in Bangkok. So we have multiple CBD in Bangkok. It's not only one single CBD, it's multiple CBD. And the project that I'm talking about right now is about over there, the northern side of the CBD of Bangkok. It's still in the central of Bangkok area. It's not that suburban area. And this area had been frozen after the crisis, economic crisis that we have Southeast Asia, Tom Yam Goong crisis, if somebody might heard about that. 1998 until 2010, it's frozen. Nobody developed anything over there. And then when it come to that time, which we start to complete the mass transportation in Bangkok, which is MRT, is start and we had been occupied and used. This station is the third largest traffic in Bangkok in terms of mass transit. The third station that having the traffic more than the rest. And then, so my client owned that property of the land, very close to the MRT station. And the land size is so huge. It's 116,000 square meter. You may be familiar with square feet. Basically, just times with 10, so you get the square feet, basically. So, and this project having the total of 1.2 million square meters. And at that time, which is about 15 years ago, this guy, my client, just tried to initiate this project to be the new CBD of Bangkok, try to sell their properties with 1.2 million square meters. So how could they be successful and how could they interest the people to buy it, to buy the property? And one of the signals that having at that time is about to have the Stock Exchange of Thailand and also AIA new headquarters complete over there. So it's quite a good starting point and the reference for the people to consider this may be the new CBD of Bangkok. So my client, they have this entire property. They collect them for about 20 years and become one single piece, so big one. And try to be the new CBD. If you take a look in this perspective, how could it be CBD? It's basically concrete jungle, right? So my point is about, okay, if you try to think about what is the key factor of building the CBD, I think like what you have, right? In the Petronas Tower, you have the open spaces, you have public spaces, and then when you complete the Petronas Tower, the building, the rest start already complete, right? And it's building the neighborhood right away. So in this kind of the concrete jungle, they cannot be the CBD because they don't have that qualities. They don't have the open spaces. So what we try to do is giving the client about the sample of how to build the CBD in the world, right? Something like in Paris, something like in China as well, in Japan. So wherever it is that try to be with the quality of the CBD, we need to have the open spaces. Something like this open plaza, the green area, the park that the people can live in. And then in Thailand, we also have one really good sample in front of the Central World Plaza. This place is the one of the biggest plaza in Bangkok. The open spaces here. Anything happen in the city, happen around this plaza. Whatever it is, maybe protest, political issue, we burn the city, we start to burn here. That's the first place to burn, something like that. So this is the quality of the CBD, okay? And also, we have the big Christmas tree over there. So I convinced my client that, okay, we better, instead of having these 3 towers, how could we stack them up together and create the open spaces? And my proposal is just only about building only about 300 meters is so sufficient already. And it's still feasible, really making sense, right? You don't need to build 600 meters. My client insists that maybe 300 meters is so short to them. Why don't we just build twice time higher? So ambition, right? And then, okay, I'm okay with that. My client instruct, okay, I do it. Okay, this is a public open spaces. And then the green open space would be there. Okay, and it launched Q4 2014, 16 years ago, right? I will not give you the animation because I already have it, but I don't think it worth to see. But basically, what happened about this project? At the end, it's still not construct. You know, we did one sample pile, which is about 90 meters long. It's already complete underneath the ground. Okay, but the building is still on the ground. I mean, nothing else. Okay, and it became the night market today. But what happened when we launched this project? After the launch, right? You know, I just tracked the records, and this is some sort of the starting point of our last cycle economy in Thailand. Okay, if you know about real estate development in Bangkok, in Thailand for the past 15 years, this is one of the places which is some sort of the trigger point of the entire city. Even the project haven't been built, but when you build this kind of the really significant piece of the, I mean, city facilities, right? It would guide the people to be interested and also try to moving in. Okay. All this project is condominium launched after the super tower launched about 5 years, very short time. And how many of them? It's about 16,000 units in total. And what is about the project value for all of them? It's about that figure. A lot of zero, right? Right. So that amount of the figure that happened, even the project haven't been built. So how could we drive the city economy with this kind of thing, right? So this is the thing that I just give you the sample, how it happened in Bangkok, which is somehow maybe slightly different from what you have, because I also tracked that, okay, after your Merdeka launch and even complete, right? Nothing much happened over there, right? So I don't know why, but this is what happened, even the building haven't been built. Okay, and you know, for the past 10 years in Bangkok, which is about 20 million population, the condominium unit had been launched about 300,000 units in total for those past 10 years. So this covers 5% just in 1 square kilometers. So it's really huge, right? And consider about another 20 times more in the entire Bangkok area. So that's why the last cycle of our economy rely on the real estate development so much. Okay, and so basically, when you start to stay in the vertical building, it's basically your place making the people residential property in vertical. So how could we make it good enough for the people and with the same certain quality of life that they can be? You know, one thing which is really important, I will give you more in details about. The scale of the unit for the condominium in Bangkok is so different from what you have here. What I checked with the ChatGPT today is about, okay, your condominium scale is about somewhere around 60 square meter or 600 square feet, up to maybe 1,000 square feet. Basically, that's quite a good size, right? In Thailand, we have the regulation not to be smaller than 21 square meters. So thinking about 21 square meters, it's smaller than your hotel, basically, right? But you need to live in. So that's basically the pain of the people in Bangkok, because they can just afford about that size, because the selling price is so high. All right. So for the past 15 years, what we try the best, I mean, we with my friend and also all the developers in Bangkok, in Thailand, try the best to make the people believe that they can have quite a good standard of the living place, even you have the unit size about 21 square meters. So that really important things. Okay, so basically we are urbanization. The placemaking in vertical, what it is. So we'll give you not only about one project, I'll give you the first location that I have done 4 projects for the past 12 years. So based on this information, you may be able to see how the city developed. And somehow, maybe you can be influenced by the way that we do and for your work that you will be doing as well. Okay, that's how the city developed as well. So there are 4 projects, 4 times different in one specific location. Again, come back to my Bangkok city map. Siam Square over there. I'm talking about the place in that yellow line, in that small area, about less than 1 kilometer distant. Okay, there are 4 projects over there for the 12 years that I have done. And I will give you, start from the really old one. Okay, I will not give you much more in details. The first one may be with a little bit of details. The rest will be just a quick video clip, just like that. So we have 4 of them. The first one started 2013, longer than 10 years ago, right, 12 years. And the second one is Ashton, 2016, 2019, and also the last one, almost complete today, 2022. 4 different brands of the buildings in one location. Every place always comes with its price. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of background about what is the price that we sell over there, because you might be able to imagine how the economy and also the real estate develop in Bangkok. So I start with the first one, ideal Q. Okay, again, if you're familiar with the square feet, just time it with 10. It will be so easy. I mean, divide with 10, right? 14,000 MYR per 1 square meters. Is that cheap for you? Not that cheap, right? Okay. I will give you the super expensive one later. Okay. All right, start with the first one. I think I already checked with your friend that you're mostly a professional architect, right? So you will be very familiar with this kind of so poor analysis, right? So the southwest, northeast, the wind flow, like that. I think your country about the same as what we have in my country. And then we need to do this kind of feasibility study. Anybody here that working on the commercial project, that's what I am doing, condominium, hotels. Anybody just please raise your hands so I can understand my audience. Nobody here. So you don't work on any project, right? So are you still architect, right? Okay. All right. All right, so I think this is so poor planning design, feasibility with the calculation, and you get super ugly building right away, right? Totally. I hate this kind of building. And okay, just like that. And then this is the location of the site. It used to be a really old big cinema. And how can we compete others? If you are the architect who work for the developers, this is the question that they always ask you, I believe. But I think you don't do, because you mostly do maybe some other project now, maybe very good one, better than what I did now. Okay, and they sometimes, because of the business development, they require us to do not only just to serve their criteria and making them the profit, also try to build their reputation as well. So this project is one of the first for this small company. At that time, they are about 60 staff company, very small. Last time, the peak time that they have, which is about 2018, this company raised up to 1,200 staff. So 20 times bigger. So that kind of thing they require from the designer. How to build their project to be like the flagship for the next decade to come for their business development. Okay, and I did this one long time ago. For the last, 15 years ago, nobody care about what we are doing. Nobody care about the architect. You just draw. You don't have any value. Okay, my client said that, okay, the most important thing to get the project to be successful is just to have the right location. What is the second thing you know? The second thing is still the location. Okay, if I may ask your third thing, what is the third thing which is very important? My client would answer you, location, right? Nobody care about your design. Okay, this may be one of the first time that my client concerned about the design. Okay, I was not designing the whole building. My job is just to do the facade design. So all those kind of the really super basic framing facade design like that, I just draw it by myself. Okay, and it's my freelance job at that time, And okay, with the small amount of the fee. And then this project becomes so successful at that time. Okay, this company, my client, right, have done development for maybe 5 to 10 years. And the total project value that they earn at that time is about less than 1 billion Thai baht. Okay, I mean in your term maybe somewhere around how much? 130 million ringgit for the past 10 years. But only this project, they get twice time bigger project value than what they did for the past 10 years. So that's crazy, right? So that's why they jump into this market. And I am the lucky guy, you know, that, okay, this project success is okay. Okay, I might get more job after that, which is good. And we start in Thailand, we start to set the brand of the condominium. Okay, apart from just the building, they start to set the brand like what you sell any other, like your cosmetic thing and everything, you set the brand, right? Name it as the IDOQ, as it become quite a successful brand already. So when you resell it, or maybe you build a new project, after that, maybe 3 years, selling the same brand, somebody still recognize that, okay, this may be one of the good things that they should invest in. So that's how the brand built, okay? And again, come back to this project. Okay, my client told me that, okay, I would like to build a new IDOQ. They are so proud with it, which I'm glad, you know. And I designed this one within about seven days and proposed to my client. From super ugly building, become less ugly building right here. And okay, producing some nice perspective, which is harder than today, you know, that is about 15 years already. And turned out that my client turned my design down. He saw it only about less than 2 minutes. I did it for 7 days, but with 2 minutes, okay, he turned my design down in front of another 40 strangers in the room. So I'm not really sure that how about your society here, but my society is just like that, you know. So, all right. So, and then my CEO said that, okay, we need a wow factor. Okay, from this one, I got 7 days, turned back to him with this design. Crazy, right? Okay, I thought it crazy as well. And I don't think that I will pass that day, you know. And let's see what it looked like when it become the building that had been complete 10 years ago. Okay, this is a building, and basically it's not the expensive building, you know. It's really budgeting kind of the project development. At that time, when the people develop the project, they also refer to some other development, which is having the average class of the construction qualities, having a few amount of money, put it in the facade design, doing some detailed decoration. We do this project with that kind of context. It's not the expensive building at all. And the total unit in this building is about 1,600 units in total, which is about 1,600 families will be living here in this building. Okay, with some sort of the vertical line decoration, some sort of the curve, which in fact came from the regulation because we do have the diagonal line setback. Okay, we need to, comply with it at any certain level of the distance from any location in the site, measure to the opposite side of the properties, and then whatever you measure, you can build a little bit higher, about twice time that what you measure. So that the diagonal line setback in Bangkok. So the building that, okay, if you have visit Bangkok, you might notice that none of the building can be straight upward like that, you know. It always be stacking step back from the main road. That's how the regulation control. And this building had been designed with that regulation as well. We do have some quite an interesting line, and we tried the best to work with the landscape design, interior design to make all the design become one single language for the entire project development. And that area is on the 7th floor, which is one of the largest facilities. This is one of the projects that had been emphasized in developing the facility to be able to serve the people with the better qualities. So that's some sort of the starting point of the real estate development in Thailand at that time. And also very nice hardscape design. we require to have, the green area. We do have the void in the buildings because this building is about 90,000 square meters, which is quite big. So it's so massive in the sense. So we try to create a void in the middle of the building, try to get some ventilation, and at the same time to create the, lighter look of the buildings to the very massive design. And this I fly the drone by myself at that time. At that time, the drone just launched a few years. So yeah, it's quite fun over there. And having the interesting lighting design over there is with the pattern of the aluminum composite panel over here. The layman people say that this is some sort of the alien language placed on the buildings. And the building at that time looked so alien to them as well. Somebody called it some sort of the space mothership that just parked in the area of Bangkok at that time. I will show you some picture that's so contradict and controversial a little bit. And it's about 40-story height. It's not that high. And okay, again, at that time, 15 years ago, right? Nobody care much about the facilities. But when we start to concentrate on the facility development, another project development also consider about that. Okay, I'll give you a quick more in details. This is some of the celebrity in Bangkok. Okay, they come down here. Okay, that written in Thai, but basically they say that okay, just finish that job and then come to the mothership, and then they're going to walk to the mothership soon. This is big, and this location is next to the very old traditional shop house. So it's 3-story height with the 40-story height buildings. Look like the alien building like that. So the people really like it. And some interesting one, okay, they play with it quite a lot, tweak the color of it. I like these two guys a lot, you know. Okay. So it's some sort of that kind of the alien urbanization basically. And the selling point, okay. This is about the size of the unit that mostly supply in the market. 28.5, that's not the smallest one. The smallest one in the project is about 21, okay, which is much smaller. I think smaller than somebody's bedroom, I think, okay. Okay, but okay, one of the majority is about 35 square meters. So that basically the Lego piece that you always play with when you design the project. And we have 1,600 of the Lego piece stacked together with the garden area, swimming pool, and so tight and really high density development like that. And at that time, we start to initiate that facility very, very important. We somehow doing really fancy with the facility. Some project having even the bowling lane in the building, you know, and some sauna, some onsen and everything, oxygen room. And at that time, when we reproposed the project to the client, because we just got turning down design, right? So I come back with them and then give them some fancy things. I will show you some fancy thing that some have been developed. And this would be some sort of the background of how we develop the real estate development in Thailand. So I gave them the 7 wonders facilities. Sometimes it's so maybe too much fancy to me, even to me, you know. Okay, we create the forest, cliff, ocean, giving a nice image look to the client. That we always do it, try to impress them, and utilize some facility to be one of the largest swimming pool in town. In Thailand, we do love swimming pool a lot, you know, but nobody swim, you know, but they love swimming pool. Okay. And we do have the cliff like that and try to implement it in the building design and place some higher level. Because this kind of the 40-story building, you know, when you buy it, you will be in one certain floor. But when you live in the high-rise building, you try the best to get some nice view sometime, you know. So they cannot do it. They cannot go to another floor if they live in the 10th floor, right? They cannot get into another floor. So this kind of facility we just firstly create at that time and to allow the people to be able to get into higher floor to see the view. And at that time to locate the facility on the top floor, it's impossible for the financial development. So we cannot do it. We can just doing something in the middle of the buildings. And this kind of the sample that we could have, and we apply this kind of space. And it had been used quite often in the building after it complete, because the people can get to see the view up there nicely. And I also proposed two super fancy design. I named it at that time, and I'm talking about 15 years ago. This one we call it Eclipse Pool. Interesting, right? 15 years ago, you know. Today, when I look at it, it reminds me about some sort of the suki pot, you know. You know suki pot, right? So, and okay, this project located very close to Jalan universities. And this university having a very pretty student, you know. So we think that maybe, okay, some student may just spending time there. And if I were to buy this building, I would buy that unit. And having the glass floor swimming pool like that, you know. It's so good that these two designs had been turning down, you know. Because, okay, if it complete today, it will be so embarrassing, you know. Doing the suki pot swimming pool on the top of the building like that is so embarrassing, you know. But sometimes, you know, if your client turning down your design, sometimes it may be good for you in the future, something like that. Okay, some sport complex area that we could have. One interesting about how the Bangkok people really interested in investing in the condominium sale and also developing the condominium development. So this is how it happened, right? And we know as architect, right? None of the design can be applied to other location. No, it's not true. We apply the same design language to two locations, even having the same unit design. So it's tweaking all the design theory, right? And location again, connect MRT and BTS, you know, and this kind of thing happened. Okay, this is the right location basically, very close to CBD, and really dynamic place for living, very close to the CBD educational facilities and everything, office building, towers, and everything. So those kind of design influence from this kind of the dynamic traffic in that area, and become okay. That's the name of location. Basically, we did this one and developed them together. Okay, two locations, and having storytelling facility. I will quickly run through it. And this is the selling image at that time. Co-working spaces, building design, marketing impact. Okay, basically the strategy is because you need to invest in advertising media, right? Instead of launching one project, what if you're launching two projects? My client did one time with them 4 projects together, using the same amount of money for advertisement. So it's very clever strategy, right? But at the same time, you create the impact to the market. So how it impact? Total for these 2 projects is about 1,800 units, you know. I mean, to me personally, I quite like this design. And at that time, I don't have that money. So I'm thinking that, okay, maybe 3-year building. Maybe I could collect some money and buy one after it complete, right? It turned out that this almost 2,000 units sold out in 2 weeks. And the project value is about these figures. Is that much for you? It's so cheap, right? I think. Okay. But basically, okay, that's how the condominium becomes so dynamic in Bangkok. And I will give you more sample about it. And okay, the next one, I will quickly run through it. I will not let you see much in details. So let's see the clip of the building completion. The name of the project is Ashton. You see that swimming pool, right? Located on 49th floor. And the length of the pool is 50 meters long. Thai people always like something big and long, you know. I think many people may like it. Okay. But basically, okay, this building, I mean, considered to be quite a premium project development compared to the previous one. And we have very nice lobby. And at that time, the word luxury is this kind of design. Golden trim, something so reflective, very goldy. That kind of the market preference is the what we call luxury. And this project is, but even luxury is still 35 square meters. So we call it compact luxury, you know. So that's how the people, I mean, in Bangkok live. Okay, and 1 bedroom basically. It is very nice swimming pool. I do swimming by myself as well, so I just try the best to make a very long pool, 50-meter long, Olympic size, and you can swim in there. nicely. Some nice facilities, even cigar room here, we do have it. Very nice skyline view outside. Co-working spaces. We even provide one grand piano for the resident. So you don't need to buy one. You can use this. And a very long swimming pool. We have multiple level of the pool. We have hot water pool over there, 3 layers. So this is how fancy that the facility had been developed from time to time in Bangkok. And it's still a really nice one. And this kind of facility, you know, I mean, my marketing team, my sales for the project also come to me and said that when you complete the building with very nice facility design and make the people believe that they can be having really nice quality living here, even you have 35 square meter unit, you will be so successful in transferring the unit. You know, the people who book the unit doesn't mean that they will transfer the unit, because sometimes they are speculator, right? They try to flip the unit and getting profit from that. Okay, next one, the third one. Okay, the price rising up, still cheap to you, I think. Okay, the name of the project is Park Origin. The second one is the tallest residential property freehold in Bangkok, in that street, for almost 5 years. And then this project start with my another client, and he come to me that okay, he would like to build the taller one, bigger, right? That building height is about 207 meters. Do you know what is the height of this building? The third one is 208 meters, so only 1 meter higher. That satisfies my CEO already, you know. Okay, because he can say that, okay, it's just 1 meter higher. But one very interesting thing about this one, and also giving you the sample how we deal with the regulation in Bangkok. I think you know FAR, right? The floor area ratio. It always limits the GFA of the buildings based on the plot size of the property, right? It's so simple, right? In this property, we have somewhere around 10 to 1. Okay, for example, if you have 10,000 square feet of the properties, you can build up to 100,000 square feet of the building GFA. So that's so simple, right? This kind of the financial mechanism. Entire building, you know, when you build maybe 100 square meters, it doesn't mean that you can sell all 100 square meters, right? You can sell maybe only about 50 square meters. So that 50% of the efficiency that we always thinking about. So the same thing applies to all the project, right? But what if the property price rising so high? The sale price would be extremely high, right? So nobody can afford it nicely. So the way we do is about what if we try to make the unit higher, right? Something like, okay, if you have maybe 3 meters ceiling height, what if you make it 50% higher, somewhere around maybe 4.5 meters, right? And then within that 4.5 meters, you can fit the mezzanine in. So which means that you can add probably about 40% of the area to the unit area. For example, if you buy 30 square meter, you get another 12 square meter, right? Because of having this kind of mezzanine. And in Thailand, I mean, the regulation and the officer just closed one eye about that, okay? And describe it as the furniture, super big furniture, you know, bigger than your bunk bed. It's one entire mezzanine floor. So this basically the thing that happened in this building. And you know, this building had been developed during the COVID time. When the COVID hit 2020, basically, we shut everything down. All the sale, all the project shut down, you know. As I mentioned earlier, right, that the year of 2018 is the peak time of our real estate development in Bangkok. So what happened about 2020? It basically, any project that launched in 2018, which is so many, right? It will be complete in that year. So how could the project be survived passing that COVID situation? Because all the sale closed, transferring unit, nobody believed, right? And I mean, people start to stay at home, right? So thinking about living in condominium, why do you need to live in condominium? Why don't you just live outside the city? Because you work from home anyway, right? So condominiums start to be struggle. And the project that had been developed with this kind of what we call it the loft design, having extra area for 50% or maybe 40%, all the project that had been developed by using this the concept had been successful during that time. Many projects struggle because the people believe that, okay, the value that they pay, they're getting more. So that's how the project happened. So this is the design that we have. Basically, just higher floor, you fit the mezzanine inside, you get more area. And again, the value proposition is so easy. You gain higher ceiling height, better space for living, nicer design. You get mezzanine area over there, and it can be used nicely. And this project had been developed like that. Okay, so a previous one. This one, very interesting one. This one is about 58.5 square meters. When you have this the title deed, which is the official GFA, right? You gain another 24 square meter here, which is the second floor. And this unit even can be able to become 3-bedroom unit. Some of the sales team call this basically the townhome in the city because it's 3-bedroom, something like that. So that's how the city had been developed. And that building already complete. And come to another one, the price rising higher, okay. Culture, the design had been more challenging because, okay, you might see that, as I mentioned before, right, the building will be controlled in terms of height about diagonal line. And this building located between 2 main roads, so we need to comply with 2 diagonal lines on both sides. In front, those triangular shape over there came out from the regulation control, not the design. It need to be cut like that. And on the back side, it need to be stacking like that. I hate this building a lot. The design is so bad. But okay, that's how basically the development can be done. But one interesting thing about this project is because we have the height limit so strong. And let's see the word luxury in different years. This is what we call luxury. It changed from the gaudy things to the colorful things. A little bit younger generation because it's still located the same location, right? I mean, one of the target is a huge student would be renting this unit somehow. So some small investor can buy the unit and rent out for their student. I mean, for even the some hospital staff as well, because it's really close to the hospital. So the design is so young. The facility had been optimized from the very fancy one had been optimized to a few having only about the exercise room, fitness. Some new thing happened for the new jobber. They start to be able to, doing some online sale instead of being the job seeker, right? So they're doing some online sale, and we do provide them the studio room that they can take the photograph of their product and sell to the market. So that kind of the new facility that had been initiated in the Bangkok, and with the hotel service together as well. So this is the design that what we call luxury this day. More toward the green wood and also a little bit of color attachment. Some greenery over here. This building almost complete right now. Going to be open probably end of this year. The unit is still really small. I will show you the detail of this unit. Maybe just skip some of it. This is the diagram that I proposed to the client. One thing is about the GFA, the FAR we need to achieve, right? We need to maximize the FAR basically. And the normal unit design, for about maybe 35 square meter, you normally prefer the room width to be not less than 5.2 meters. So because it would be wide enough to be divided to 2 portions, bedroom and the living room, right? But this one, because of the limitation of the height, the building needs to be fat, The perimeter needs to be larger. And we need to tweak the building and unit inside. The unit need to be very long and narrow. So that's very important, right? If you said to the client, to the buyer that your room would be about 3.5 meter width and 10 meter long, nobody would buy it because it's so narrow, right? And I need to deal with this one. And we also need to make it higher because the loft product also survive in the market. So instead of having the 1 bedroom, we creating this to be able to become the 3-bedroom unit by having the loft. And so simple thing, right? Bedroom should be able to get natural light, right? We have the bedroom over here, and how to get the light? It's just to getting it through the wall here. So we create the wall in the middle of the unit, and it become 2-bedroom. This side is the outside the buildings, that side inner side of the building, and then we can also convert this living room to be another bedroom. So this kind of product really well in terms of serving the student communities because they can share the room together, right? Because there are 3-bedroom component. So 6 students can share the room right here. So that's how this project survived during the soft market in Thailand, and is almost complete today. So that's how we developed the product for the people over there. And this is the sample room that shown in the show office. So during the design, I don't believe that this product will be okay. It's so scary, and I'm afraid a lot to see the real unit. But when the unit complete, I said that it's okay, and everybody like it. Okay, so interestingly. And this is the wall in the middle, so it's quite okay, I think. And this is the area that you can get the light. And come to the new one, another one, okay. Before others. Okay, this one is more like the, okay. When the real estate development becomes so peak, the competition is so strong that the opportunity that you, as the architect, can be able to implement some new thing to the market because the market competes so strongly, right? So whatever you can create, it can be selling point to the market right away. So this building succeed in that sense. Located nearby one of the landmark of Bangkok, Victory Monument. And this is the buildings that already complete about 4 years ago. One important thing is about, in this building is about how to improve the qualities of the communal area, especially the corridor in front of the unit, Because when we are talking about condominium, right, you always end up with the double load corridor, right? And really long corridor. At the end, you may get some small window to get some natural light, right? Even the air may not be able to flow from one to another area, right? So the dead air would be somewhere over there all the times, right? So this project, we try to implement some new thing to the market that what if we can improve the corridor of the building to be the place that the people can meet together and can be also having some relaxation time in that spaces. And this building is quite a weird shape in terms of floor plan, and the building shape is just like that, stacking up with the height restriction again. And the building is complete for 4 years ago. I will show you some key features of this building. And this is a view, In Thailand, the view become more important than anything else. Something like you might concern about the heat, right? Okay, we are the same, location in terms of the world, right? So we always afraid of strong sunlight on the west side. It's so hot, right? It's so heat, right? But in Thailand, because we building the market together, the heat is less important than the view. If the view on the western side is the best view possible, the people would buy it. They don't care about the heat because they can turn on the AC. So that is not sustainable at all, but that's how it happened, This is also the same thing. Okay, the view is very important. So when we have this kind of the project location, right, we better try the best to maximize the unit number to be able to see the view of the Victory Monument, which is the landmark of the Bangkok. And some protesting event also happened here. And this location right there, 300 meters apart from the landmark. And this is how the building plan create. It's so V-shaped plan, right? But basically, the way to create this one is just to maximize the number of units to be able to see the view. And we locate the core on the back side over here, and then having the northern side to be Victory Monument like that. And the building setting back like that. So we just try to create some nice contour line. And this is the double corridor that we always see in the buildings. So instead of having that, and I just forget one thing, okay. The way that we get the atrium, because the way to maximize the view to the unit is to maximize the perimeter of the building, right? Right. Longer area that you can have, it means that more number of units that can be fit in the parameters. So when we do that, right, we got the space that we cannot use right in the middle of the building, right? We cannot build a floor because we try not to, spend the GFA too much. We try to save the GFA as much as possible, right? So instead of having the floor, we create a wall inside and then it become the atrium spaces, and using the stack ventilation effect to flow the air from bottom to the higher floor. And that's how the ventilation can flow inside the the high-rise building, basically. And we also study about the simulation a lot, the velocity, and we even provide the smoke exhaust fan in the atrium because it's also the regulation. And we can also use this exhaust fan to be the thing that mechanically ventilate the air inside the building. So that how it works. And we also allow the sunlight from the top to the bottom here, like that. And this is the atrium, which is quite okay in terms of the design. And some small specific details, if you question about this, okay, this is the exhaust fan. This exhaust fan is so expensive, you know. Having all these 8 of them per one set is about 10 million Thai baht, which is about how much? 300,000 US dollar. Yeah, that's about the cost that we need to provide when we do the atrium in the high-rise building like that. Okay, let's get to it. Skip to it like really fast. Okay, this facility, which is not that important. I had a lot of slides, so I quickly run through it. The swimming pool and everything, always locate on the top part of the buildings. That's the basic market preference in Bangkok. Getting the sunrise, sunset view nicely. And then it come to one of the most expensive one. I think I will give you another 2 projects only. I have more slides, but I think we don't have that much time. Okay, a lot of zero again. Porsche design towers. Is that expensive to you? It's expensive, right? Okay, okay. So that about 1 square meters. Okay, for Porsche design tower, it's very interesting. I worked with the client for this project for 7 years before we launch it. We just launched it last year, and we're going to do the official launch in next couple months. We're going to complete 1 sample unit, which is about the size that's so big. Okay, let's see the clip a little bit. You can turn the volume up a little bit, please. Excuse me, could you turn the volume up a little bit? Thank you so much. This is some sort of the teaser for this project. And you can be louder. Thank you. I'll let you see the clip. Could you be a little bit louder?
Dreams challenge the
Thank you so much.
status quo. Chase perfection. We all dream together. Not alone. Because together, nothing is off limits or beyond our reach. It's not about delivering on an expectation, but setting the new benchmark. Don't ignite your passion. Ignite the room. Ignite the city. Ignite the world. You, me, her, him, they, them. Don't solo. Swarm. Because greatness is not a singular person. It's a collective spirit. One that rises and elevates this capital to the sky. Porsche Design Tower, Bangkok. The first in Asia.
Okay. All right. So you can see it's probably about 1.5 minute clip, right? how long does it take for the image of the buildings? Maybe a second, right? Why it happened like this? Because this kind of the property price, they are not selling the room. They're selling emotion. That's what my client told me. Okay, so my design is nothing. Okay, they sell emotion. All right. So basically, it's quite interesting for this project. You know, basically 7 years, right? This is not the first design that we have complete. It used to be completely different design with small unit size, probably about 400 unit in total, just really normal condominium design development like that. But again, when the market changed, the COVID hit, the client reconsidered this to be totally change the entire product development. And at that time, you know, in the market, we start to be too much oversupply the condominium in town. So extremely high supply and optimized demand number. So the project about the standard size, it would be so risky to develop, you know. But instead of that, you know, when consider about the economic situation when it changed and it declined, right? The wealthy family is still wealthy, always, right? Interesting thing, okay. And then, you know, there is one project which is done by other development. They start to develop the unit size of 500 square meters, which is about 5,000 square feet. And they launched about the year of 2015, I think, somewhere around that. And nobody believed that it would be successful. Who can buy it, you know? But when the COVID hit, you know, what happened? This project, which is about 500 square meter, sold at about how much? 100 million Thai baht, which is about 3 million US dollars. It's converted into your currency. It's about probably about 20 something, right? Maybe close to 20 million ringgit, something like that, around that. So at that price, okay, and it bare shell, you know, not the finishes provide, it's bare shell, okay, but it's sold out so well. 70% of it sold at the very difficult market situation. So at that time, the developers start to be realizing that, okay, maybe this kind of the really premium market can be surviving the project development. So that's how this project start. And to get the brand, you know, I mean, it's not easy to get the brand. You know, we took about 2 years time to negotiate with the Porsche design team to get the brand into the project. And because Thai market and also some global market believe that the branded residence is the thing that the people are looking for. So that's how the Porsche design came up. And this is the project that we did. The biggest size of this project is about 1,400 square meters. So 14,000 square feet basically. With that price, you know. So it's cost billion Thai baht per one unit. And we have only about 22 units only. So only 22 family will be living here. So you may be wondering that, okay, how could the developer be brave enough to launch this kind of project? What my client told me, you know, instead of you try to sell 400 units to the market, that will not be able to afford it. What if you just find only 22 families in the entire world? So that's how the strategy becomes, you know. So and at this time, I think the 40% of the unit had been sold already for this project, and we're going to start the piling end of this year. That the client target, and this is the unit. And the interesting thing about this one, because why it Porsche design, because there are also a huge amount of people in Thailand that really love sport car. And Porsche design is one of them. Porsche car is basically one of them. One of the dream car that the people would think maybe the first sport car that they can achieve, that they can buy, maybe Porsche. So this one is about how could we make the parking spaces to be a little bit more passionate. It's not only about the parking your car, you know, it's basically your man cave, the place that you can relax, the place that you can stay with and enjoy your time with it. So this one is the diagram of the buildings. We have the unit over there, right? We have the parking podium But the parking podium will have the direct elevators to get from your garage space directly to your unit, because it will allow only one family to use the lift at one time. So that's the strategy of how we control the securities. And we have that one. This one is basically the residential floor. It's basically duplex design, the 2-floor component. And we have 5 car parking space over there, and we have the space in between. So all this will be in your title deed. We sell even the parking spaces in this building. And okay, we have 22 in total. And one of the largest, this is the atrium space right in the middle of the parking podium. And that's the what we call passion space, the garage space basically. And we drive the car with the very nice design, gentle slope lamp to get into this area. It's basically your place, It's not your parking space, it's your place. And the biggest one already sold is quad duplex. It's 4 floors together. It's 1,200 square meter for the living area, and then we have another 200 square meter for the garage space over here. So that's basically the parking spaces with the very large balcony design over there. And that's the unit with the clear acrylic swimming pool on the 2nd floor of their unit. And yeah, that's the space that we have. This is the swimming pool right here. And then the area inside, this is a facility area that we provide. So from the ultra luxury, this is the last project that I will show you today. It's ultra affordable. So completely different. How much it is? Okay, this one is basically social housing that I serve the design for them. Okay, it's basically the very low income people in one of the really high density area, or we can call it slum area as well. This is about the cost that they're going to buy. And affordable place for the unaffordable people. And that slum area, we have about close to 100 families that their house got burned down, fire situation for I think 2 years ago. And I come to help them and help the organization who try to help them as well to rebuild their home in the new place. This area is really close to Lumpini Park, the Central Park. It's basically one of the most expensive area into the property price. But it's not the public property, it belongs to the King family, basically. But even they belong to the King family, they give it to the public, the community can use it. And then they leave it for longer than 40 years here. And then their house burned down. So what the property management of the King family try to do is try to compact the footprint of their property to be smaller, so they can free the space for some other commercial development for long term. So that's the strategy, because this kind of slum, even it is the most expensive land, they still use 1-story height house. So premium, right? But very poor build, okay? So we try to compact that, and then we got a small plot of the land, and we try to create some interesting development, because these kind of people, one very interesting thing about, okay, I did the condominium design a lot, right? But to design for the people who having less opportunities, it's become more difficult, because their limitation is so high, They cannot walk, they cannot do anything, they need to live on ground because they can sell things down there. So that's their belief, But what if we try to stack them together upward in vertical? How could we make them believe that they can have the same lifestyle as what they used to have? So that's really important thing that we need to comply in this project. So street life in vertical is become the idea of this project. So because they believe that on ground level they can sell things, they can do some barber shop by their own, they can sell noodle over here for their friend, for their neighbor, right? So that's how they believe. So instead of having the double load corridor design as what you have in normal condominium, there's one community housing development complete about 20 years ago. And the organization team come to me that they said that this building is the worst environment to be living in, Sometimes for this kind of people, you cannot imagine that even inside the elevator can be the criminal area. So that's so interesting, you know. So this kind of the thing cannot be applied. So everything need to be exposed. The corridor need to be outside. The elevator need to be see-through. All this kind of criteria need to be applied in this property. And they also require to have the community area for them. So we also, again, because we have quite a limitation, I think this kind of sample you might be able to see in some other global development for the community housing, right? Basically, we build them one floor, but they can utilize them themselves, and maybe stacking up using the mezzanine, they can build by their own, and having the upper floor to be like the bed area for them, and the lower floor, they can be the noodle shop for them, they can be the barber area, they can be anything, right? So that's the strategy for this building. And we doing the Tetris diagram for that to maximize and optimize the usage of the volume that we could build. And that's the diagram that we could have. And then when we stacking them, basically, that's the size. So this is how we create. We create the street at the higher level. So you can even doing cycling from the Green Bridge, which is the bridge which link to Central Park, right? You can do cycling, and you can even ride your bicycle up to the building. That's what the diagram that we try to create. So thinking about the neighbor here, when they come to their home, right? They walk past the area in front of their friend shop. They can get into the room, they can get into the noodle store before they get into their own unit. And also we try to maximize the green area up there. The building would be constructed by the community as well, so we try the best to make the construction to be the most practical solution. And we stack them like that. And we allow the people to have their own community area in vertical like that. So that's the spaces that we create. We also try to make this property to be able to get some beneficial or the benefit from the commercial place. So we utilize the two lower floor to be the retail rental area. So they can manage by their own, renting out the spaces for some other people to come in and make this to be the destination by their own. So that's how we develop these properties. Okay, so maximizing the green area, and this project is still under development today. Okay, I think that's about it for today. Thank you so much. Hope that you can enjoy. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Architect Poi. Right now, we will have Q&A sessions. For those who have questions, you may scan Slido on the screen and pose your question. I would like to call again Architect Poi to the stage for the Q&A sessions, and also Architect Rintan to moderate the Q&A session.
All right, guys, just scan the QR code and slide in and ask any question. It's a very good opportunity to have Architect Poi with us today to share with us how he actually do the project from high-rise on all the affordable housing, social housing, all the way to the most expensive housing that I ever see in Bangkok. Couldn't see it in Malaysia. I don't think I can afford. I don't know how people can afford, and your client willing to listen to your wow idea on all the development. I think we have a few questions coming out. This is also the interesting one. I think this is quite recent. I'm not sure if you can answer this. Because I think quite recent to us, the Bangkok earthquake. Okay. How does it affect your design when you're doing the high-rise development?
Wow, very good question. Whoever asked this, okay. Have you seen some clip, 3 buildings that, having the bridge connect between each other, right? And then it break. And there's one Korean guy jump from one to another building. That is so interesting clip, That building is my design, basically. So scary. And the way that the bridge work is really right. According to the theory that we design. Our structural design engineer, right? Because one bridge need to be extend from one building only, and you have the expansion joint, you're not connecting them together, right? So that basically what happened. And apart from probably about 1,000 high-rise building in Bangkok, only one tower collapsed. The one which all the people thought about the corruption happened in Bangkok. That may be the reason that it collapsed, right? So which means that based on the current standard, because we have changed the regulation for the earthquake lately, probably about 7 years ago. And that regulation required the structure to be more strengthened in some sense, okay? And okay, many said, okay, and my client also, my buyer also asked me about how could the high-rise building in Bangkok could surpass the earthquake. What is, how many Richter that it could, become still okay. And last, this time is already proved that it basically 8.2 Richter. And all the buildings still okay, only one collapsed. And that one is maybe the issue about the corruption, right? So this kind of thing also giving some effect to the residential development market right away, okay? Because the market softened since probably about 2022. Economy in Thailand is not that good. Tourism still decline, and the people get less money basically, right? So this kind of the earthquake also affect the market situation. We can say that this may be the worst market situation in the past 15 years. Yeah, so, but you know, this kind of thing, until now, the people who really live in the condominium still okay with it. They start to get used to with it.
So you mentioned the law for the earthquake thing have been enforced or changed since 7 years ago. When this thing happened, does it affect your design or your current project already comply to the thing? Is there any additional thing that you need to look into it again?
For our structural engineer, I think I would say that our structural engineer, the way that they do the work in Thailand, they are so conservative all the times. The safety factor that we always provide is probably maybe 200% of what it requires basically. So we basically 200% already. So when the regulation had been officially announced, it doesn't affect much for the construction cost because we already comply with it. Yeah, that's how the thing happened. Yeah.
Looking at the project scale that you have been involved, not just from the affordable housing up to the luxurious condo high-rise project. So what is your role, or when is your involvement for all this project in your firm with 40 staff involved for this project? So when is your involvement?
I would consider that the first 20% I need to do it and hands-on it by myself. Basically about the start from the feasibility study. My team is so good, in fact, but sometimes, for some very difficult site situation, based on your experience, you can be able to deal with it. But maybe some, younger, they cannot deal with it. So that's how we work. So for the first 20%, I'm still looking after by myself. And then from time to time, for the last 80%, I will just revisit for some certain state in the design development. Yeah.
So what is your main design principles or your design philosophies that you applied across vastly different project scales from all the different project scales? So what is the things that you hold on to that you apply into all your projects?
Myself, the way that I work, I'm considering myself as the very neutral guy. I don't have my own preference, basically. So whatever the client come to me, and then whatever preference that they have, we always try to serve them the best possible. That always. And myself and my team always flexible about the how to serve the client. When we work with this kind of the commercial project like this, the change came out every week. The design adjustment will require you every week to change. So we really open for that. Sometimes when we develop the design, in some projects, just only the master plan, I did probably maybe more than 20 options, just only for the master plan. Because, all those need to be maximizing their profit. That's the first thing, right? The way that we try to improve our design approach is about, every time what I try to do is about try to gain the maximum profit possible for each of the project. So by that amount of the project revenue, right, you'll be having some budget to build something good for your own design. So that's the strategy that we always apply. Yeah.
Sorry, just one more question. I mean, how do you convince your client with your proposal, especially like having the Eclipse Tower on the rooftop, and then adaptations of like greenery into your designs? Because looking at the long-term maintenance, it will be very, I mean, not properly. I mean, it's hard to maintain, and also like the MCB tower, that high rise. How do you convince the client to go with your proposal?
In fact, it's not my own preference to do design thing. You know, I mean, basically, okay, I will always use the market preference, which is the user preference. The human centricity is always come first. So whatever could satisfy all those buyers is the key thing that we could use. You know, how could we impress the market? So all the design features, some fancy thing, you know, we use that user centricity as the key motivation for the project development. Yeah.
Thanks. It's a very interesting way of you looking at how you maximize and the commercialize the project, and then you use the value to do whatever thing you want, especially on the facility. Yeah. This is also very interesting that we want to know the selling price of the project that you show is so high. Can you share with us a bit, you know, compared to the selling price with the land cost, construction cost, and most importantly, your professional fee? How do you balance with it, you know?
I think my first clip already told you that the fee in Thailand is so low, right? The design fee, I think still low, you know. I cannot tell you the figure. It's some sort of the thing, but still consider very low. Okay, you cannot compare with the total project value. For the post design tower, I think the total project value would reach about how much? 10 billion Thai baht. Yeah, that basically $300 million US dollar, basically. That's the project value, right? The fee is so small. You know, the marketing team, the sales team would get higher profit than what I have. I think you may also have the same pain.
Same here.
Right.
The property agent earn more than us.
Yeah. I just mentioned this to my potential client, I mean, in Malaysia yesterday. He said to me that, okay, it's life, you know. It's just life. So be with it. Yeah, just like that. Yeah. But you know, I mean, most of the real estate development in Thailand, my client yesterday also asked me this. The net profit for the real estate development for any type of building in Thailand recently, it less than 2 digits. It haven't been reaching the 10%, you know, only maybe 9% or somewhere like that. But the total amount of the money is huge. Even it is small percentage, it's still huge. Yeah.
Looking at the Porsche Tower, you propose to have like each unit have access of its own individual car. Mm-hmm. So I was just wondered, how do you? I mean, how do you provide access for each unit? Does it have their own access to?
Yeah, that the way that what we call the private lift configuration. The private lift configuration had been used for longer than 10 years in Thailand. It's basically the chair elevator basically, but you know, but the time that you use it, it will allow only one group of people use it. It will not be able to press the button until one certain resident already reached their unit. So that's how it worked. So in Porsche Design Tower, we have only 4 lifts, 4 passenger lifts to serve the 22 unit. So they share, but only one time, only one period of time that only one family can use it. That's how it works. Yeah.
I think a lot of people is curious on this question, you know, because on every month we invite young speaker, emerging architect to share about their portfolio or project, and a lot of people will say, "Wow, you look so young," you know, and then you're having vast experience and portfolio.
Okay. I'm still looking young, right?
Yeah, yes,
okay, thank you so much.
Everyone agree.
Okay.
So I don't want to mention your age. If you want to share, you can share. But the most important thing is looking back, you know, at a younger self of you.
Okay.
What would the advice that you would give to yourself and then to to everyone here?
Oh, okay. It's basically not my advice. It's basically my mentor advice. Okay. I used to be in A49, and the president of A49 is basically he is the national artist. Okay, of Thailand. First time that I worked with him and I met him, you know, only one word that he mentioned to me is about be patient. You know, not passion, you know, passion. So whatever you face with, be patient with it. You know, so that's the key. And I think, you know, I mean, being architect in any corner of the world, I think is a painful job, no? But at the same time, it's also giving you some proudness, right? I mean, when your design complete, yeah, it's some sort of the satisfaction that you can be with. Even the project developed for 7 years, 10 years, when it complete, all those 3 days is giving you quite a satisfaction like that, right? So I believe that all you here, which are still doing architect job, right? I think we having the same thing, no? Yeah.
Being uptrend with the current technology, how do you look at AI in architecture, or have you applied in any of your project using these AI tools?
I talk with them all the time right now. Yeah, I mean ChatGPT, how many of them that we have, I think we talk with them all the time. It basically, I mean to me, it's basically my assistant always. But okay, I would say that we are not using that in the sophisticated way yet. You know, it's just the very normal way, something like how to get some information, how to get some research. So easily, just one click, you get everything, right? The way that I'm now doing is about, okay, maybe right now I'm really interested in the how to make the built environment be more sustainable. And another one most important thing that I'm really interested right now is about how to make the healthier built environment for the people. So I'm researching by myself right now, which is I have one set of the project that I haven't shown you is about how to deal with the carbon neutralities. I think this subject also interesting for your country as well. I think in any country, I think Malaysia tried to be net zero in 2050, right? My country slower is about 2065, 15 years. I mean, after you are success, I hope that you can be successful. All this kind of thing, you know, together with how to make the built environment be more healthier for the people using the non-VOC material, how to create and apply the passive design to make the quality of the air in the building better than what it used to be. So this kind of thing, you know, I talk with ChatGPT and all the AI all the time, and getting most of the information that it should be addressed, and then seeking for the solution how to make it possible. So that's the way that we work right now. Yeah.
Thanks. We have last 2 questions. I'll start the last one here for myself here. I think it's very interesting that you actually show us different typology of building from the most high-end one all the way to the social housing. So you did mention, you know, when you work with commercial project, apartment and all that, you need to maximize the profit. Of course, that is for client. If not, they won't build. But when we talk about the social logic park, you also mentioned that, you know, you convince your client by having a bigger park and facility and all that. So how does it, you know, implement into your philosophy or your design development when you work with a private developer on this?
The same situation, you know, I mean, as I mentioned, right, I always try to serve the best for my user. And also when we work for the social housing, they are also a huge group of the people, which is the user, right? And they demand so seriously in everything, you know. They would like to pay the lowest price possible. They would like to gain more space as much as possible. And you know, I mean, to do condominium, you don't need to talk with your buyer, right? Because you know the market preference already, right? By research, by everything, right? But to do this social housing, I need to talk with them in person. Every single family, I need to talk with them, what they require, and try to convince them that, okay, this kind of the space should be okay for your living style. So that's how we work. And again, be patient to deal with it, yeah.
Throughout all the projects that you have showed to us today, do you have any project that you find it your favorite? Because you did mention the one that is favorite.
Yeah, very good.
And then just wonder, have you revisited any of your project, or do you get any feedbacks from the customer on your design?
I don't know that are you the same as what I am or not, you know, but to me it seemed like it's a curse, you know. When you see your work under construction, right, you found so many things that unexpected, right? The quality of workmanship, okay, maybe this guy forget this detail and everything, right? So painful, right? And you know, I mean, it's very good question, and I always answer that none of the project that I certify by myself, you know. But there is one project that I already show you as well, the Ashton one, the second project that I show you in the clip, right? The thing that I feel good with that project is not about the project itself. It's the way that we deal with this project. Because, okay, as I mentioned, right, we have the setback regulation. And at that time, you know, the property which adjacent to the main road, you need to consider the diagonal setback line, right? So this plot of the land, they bought it. And in fact, there are the multiple plot of the land. There are also the small plot of the land, which is a shop house, probably about 20 of them. And it allows us to not including this part into the properties. And then it means that the main property, it is not adjacent to the main road. So you don't need to comply with that diagonal line setback, right? So basically you cut the land, you know, you need to ask your client to cut the land that they just bought it. The price of that land, you know, per 1 square meter, it costs about probably how much? 100,000 US dollars just for 1 square meters. And that piece of the land that I asked the client to cut out, it's about, the cost of the land is about 3 million US dollars. Okay, I asked the client to cut it out. And they believe me, okay. Because we can make the building higher and it become more luxury, you know. And by cutting that piece of the land, I also convinced my client that, okay, not to develop any other type of building, maybe shop house, none of them. Because you will got complaint from the public, right? Because you make some benefit to yourself by cutting the land, right? And then develop some other thing. I convinced them to donate this piece of land to the community nearby. And that amount, the 3 million US dollars, donate to the public. And the community get the benefit from that piece of land so nicely because it's very close to the temple as well. I think this kind of situation is make me feel very good because when you do the commercial thing, right, you do the profit for your client, you get some salary, I mean, you get your fee for your survive, right? So, but at the same time, you can do something good for the public. So that the project that make me feel better.